That's how it goes. You never ever know about the NWO. Deep behind enemy lines for September 11th, 2020. Yeah, we got one heck of a headline breaking this morning for you today. Yeah, over 90 earthquakes reported in the last 24 hours near Yellowstone Lake. More earth changes and geopolitical upheaval, and another update to the New World Order from the No Link News Desk. Move over, harp-tards. You'll not see this news or earthquake prediction from Doomsday Dutchie's magic 3D earthquake crystal ball first. So in case you miss it, or you want to wait around for sloppy seconds from dumbass Doomsday Disinfo Dutchie, let's get to the science of things this morning. It's 8:19 a.m. And back in 1998 on Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell, Mitch Petros shocked the global warming Agenda 21 community with his space weather equation. And it went something like this. Sunspots trigger solar flares. Solar flares trigger the shift in the Earth's magnetic field. A shifting magnetic field triggers a shift in jet stream currents and ocean currents. Shifting jet streams and shifting ocean currents trigger extreme weather and human disruption. So, moving on this morning, over 90 earthquakes reported near Yellowstone Lake in the last 24 hours. It seems to be for the last few days. Couple days, this intense shaking going on. But there's other activity going on. An earthquake in Chile this morning is 6.3. Also is in the mix. But back to the news. The seismic activity near Yellowstone Lake has been a big increase. Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's get to this, transition right over to this right now and show you what I mean. Bring it right up and show you. Here we go. Here's how intense the shaking's going on right now in Yellowstone, Dutchie, you dumbass mofo. How about those little, pyro plumes? Yeah, pyro plumes over in the Pacific. Yeah, from frickin' pyrogenic smoke clouds from California fires. Yeah, directed energy, bottle rockets, that's what I say. You're a dumbass. Somebody shut off a bottle rocket, and your fucking dumbass weather satellite glitches come out and you pull out this bullshit out of your ass of directed energy. Well, look, who's directing energy right here, huh? Right here next to Yellowstone Lake. See all that energy being directed right there with all them intense earthquake swarm? Yeah. Dumbass Dutchie still a little slow in scaring people with big shit going on in California. But we all know the super volcano of Yellowstone National Park. We all know. Sure do. Look at all them earthquakes. 1.0. We've had as large as a 2.6. in this area. But zooming on out, you see that, scroll it over a little bit so it's easier to see while I zoom it out. Plus, we still have a storm of earthquakes going on over in Idaho still. Well, who am I to point this out, huh? Then, of course, we have to add into the mix Dutchie's dumbass summary of yesterday's earthquake in New Jersey next to a underground explosive facility. Well, obviously, he doesn't understand seismic waves very well, or how the USGS can determine a bomb or an explosion versus an earthquake. But his dumb ass is too stupid, too slow to figure out this shit. Because look, right around up here, here's how they determine a quarry blast. So if a bomb blew up in New Jersey that triggered the earthquake yesterday, well, it would have been identified as a bomb blast. You see what I'm saying, you dumbass, Dutchie? But hey, you're just a disinfo fucking con artist. You're a fraud when it comes to forecasts and earthquakes. But let's get back to the news today, because you see, we zoom back in here, man, you have to, see, Dutchie looks at the big shit. He doesn't zoom in on activity when you really want to get down to see the nitty gritty. But we bring this in and show you, man, intensity. Look at that. See, there's Yellowstone Lake just northeast of this epicenter of this earthquake swarm. And it seems to be, you can see it's pretty much centered, the epicenter is pretty much centered in about a 2-mile radius of the center of it. So we're looking around here about 4 miles from one side to the other, maybe 5. Just to give you kind of, a glimpse of how big of a circle we're going to draw on the map here of where all this intense earthquake shaking is going on below the surface. We all know, yeah, Dutchie's ready for a super volcano to explode. But he likes misdirecting us with the dumb shit down there in the Mojave Desert with some fucking extinct, dormant fucking Pisgah Crater volcano bullshit. Nobody believes that goes there that it's ever erupted. But hey, who am I to point this shit out? Because dumbass Dutchie, he's a fearmonger. Yeah, he's as dumbass as he comes when it comes to forecasting earthquakes. Look at that. He didn't even let you know that this shit was coming up, did he? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Finish up. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, United States Geological Survey, Yellowstone experiences about 1,500 to 2,500 earthquakes per year, according to many occurring in swarms or earthquake clusters. But most swarms are small, containing 20 or 30 earthquakes. In short, lasting for a day or two. But today's seismic activity is a little bit abnormal in that as of this morning at 8:25 a.m. on a Friday, we've seen over 100 earthquakes and counting occur all over this area in Yellowstone Lake since, it looks like, we'll say Wednesday night, according to USG. Maybe Tuesday evening, but anyhow, I'll show you here how it progresses over the last few days, how all these earthquakes that have been under a 2.5 magnitude, none of them have reached a 3.0 magnitude yet, but in the same area that they're depicted in the map, let me just show you. USGS shows here, wow, 95 earthquakes in this area right now here that I'm showing you. There are 95 earthquakes in the last week. Okay, that's 95 earthquakes in the last week. We go back to in the last 24 hours, we've got 52. So you can figure in the mix that this earthquake earthquake swarm has picked up speed over the last 24 hours, and we've seen 52 earthquakes in this map that you see here on the map. There's 52 earthquakes there in the last 24 hours, Dutchie. Okay? You ready? Yeah. Alrighty. Moving on. Let me just show you here. We'll move over here to the Iris earthquake browser. And you'll see here how this earthquake intensity flow is just showing up on the map. Beginning on the go back here. Let me reverse it. Let's wait a second. Because this is the animation of earthquakes over the last week. And the purple dots that you see will pop up starting on the 8th. You see, as you see, there's no earthquake activity on the 8th. There's no earthquake activity on the 9th. Then all of a sudden, late in the evening on the 9th, you start seeing earthquakes pop up, and then boom, there's your earthquake swarm. You know what? We need to add some intense music to this stuff, don't we? As a matter of fact, let's put a shout out to this latest, I thought, cool music video. Yeah, that I just picked up, just heard just a moment ago. Let's bring this in too. Yeah. Was this it? No, it wasn't. Well, where was it? I swear. Anyhow, let's just see what this has got to say, huh? See what I just found here.
Those kind of things.
My guess is
that they were trying to, get some non-earthquake damage things repaired, or they thought there was going to be money involved that we were handing out and things like that. And so trying to deal with both sides of that coin was a little bit complicated. And the other complication we had is that day one and two people were somewhat they understood that we were dealing with an earthquake and that we were busy and we couldn't do our normal functions. But soon after that, developers, builders, homeowners that were doing remodeling projects, people expected us to be able to do our normal inspections and our normal plan reviews and our normal processes, especially with COVID-19 and trying to keep the economy running. So we tried to, it was a challenge to make sure that we were trying to deal with the earthquake response, but at the same time, still be able to accommodate inspections and keep that work going forward. And speaking of kind of that, understanding the challenges with the earthquake and COVID-19 compounding that, some of the things we did is we kind of put our top priority on reviewing engineering reports for buildings and permits that were earthquake related. So if those reports came in, they went to the top of the list, and we jumped on those to try and get those turned around as quick as possible. We were also very careful not to displace people, with the exception of that initial apartment building on Magna Main. No one was picked out of residential buildings in our jurisdiction. We were very careful to kind of not be too overly cautious on damage to buildings, to understand that a lot of these people didn't have somewhere else to go. It was still safe. We were also trying to be very careful in dealing with people's buildings. These are their personal property and stuff like that. Just one quick story that happened on day one, just dealing with different people and whatnot, is that one of the emergency personnel on scene on day one requested a track hoe to come in and knock down one of the commercial buildings on Magna Main because he felt it was dangerous based on his experience with fires and different things. And luckily at the time there was an engineer out there on site kind of helping us. And he looked at the building and said, you know what, I think it can be repaired. I don't really think it's that dangerous. And we were able to haul off that track hoe from coming and avoid that building to be torn down. And once they did get engineers into that building, the damage was fairly minor and they were able to repair it fairly easily. And so I just cautioned, we had to be very careful on dealing with other people's buildings, telling them what they could and couldn't do on those kind of things. Just some of the challenges that we had.
One other
that we realized was really important was communication. We realized that there was going to be people who were really frustrated with us as far as putting the placards on the front of their businesses and changing the occupation. People would call elected officials being frustrated, and the misinformation can spread very quickly. One of the things we had to make sure that we focused on was not is just life safety, and keep that at the forefront of doing our job, and being ethical with regardless of the kind of the backlash of if we thought a building was unsafe, to move forward in that direction. And one of the things we found very useful was to make sure to communicate as quickly as possible and as much as possible to elected officials and to the public of what the process, the HCC 20 process is, and what we're doing, and what's happening. And so Trent and I went to the first Magna council meeting that they had an emergency one, and we went there and discussed with them what the process was, that we were doing rapid inspections, and how everything worked, and that helped a lot. We also did some press releases trying to let the public know to look at their chimneys, and what we were doing as far as inspections, and that they could get an engineer themselves, a private engineer, to look at things. And we also posted that information on city websites. And then we also tried to talk directly to frustrated residents. Some people it helped, some people, it didn't. They still were frustrated, especially businesses on Magna Main, as far as the process of needing to have them do reports and things.
And so just to finish up, just on a couple other lessons learned, and I'm not going to go over every one of these, but some of the big things that I thought about and things that we're still dealing with is to make sure, kind of like Crystal said, we need to make sure our staff is up to date on the process, and not just the inspectors, but all the staff, your engineers, anybody that you're going to have to enlist the help of that day. Also keep staff, and I didn't write this down, but keep staff informed of what's going on. The communication not only going out to the public, but internally. I learned that, my permit techs and other people in the office were answering phones, and they need to know what's going on because they're the ones communicating directly with the public. And just, I put down here, don't overpromise. I think on that day one, I kind of got caught off guard where people would call me and I'd say, oh, I'll be right there. And within an hour, I realized, oh, I can't be right there. So not overpromising and not giving people kind of that false sense of what our role is, that we're not coming in and we're not fixing things and we're not handing out money. We're here to kind of help assess the situation. But we're not taking on that role of some of those things that they think we are. Anyway, and the last one I just said, stop and take a breath, because it can be very overwhelming very quickly. You just need to breathe and we'll make it through. That's really all I have. I appreciate being able to be here and kind of chime in and be a part of this process. Thanks, Barry.
Okay, so what you just heard there was just moments of learning what they were learning from the Magna, Utah earthquake back on July 23rd that shook up Salt Lake City. So as you can see, they're addressing these issues ahead of time. Maybe disinfo dumbass Doomsday Dutchie, since he's so noble in trying to be a guardian to those out there by helping them be prepared for such earthquakes in advance. Nothing's going to be a fix, dumbass Dutchie, even after an earthquake occurs. But still, here's what we're learning. People are still learning what happens during earthquakes. And the USGS, yeah, they make mistakes. But hey, obviously I can find out more goddamn mistakes that you've made and stumbling over and the fucking dumbass shit that you fucking brought up, all the disinformation and misrepresentation and lies to fabricate all kinds of bullshit to make people believe your lies. So here we go. This is what, I think, I found was pretty cool just a little bit ago. Ugasani, Urxics, the Dark, Creatures of the Depth, Cryo Chamber. This is pretty cool. So, We'll add this in. Because, this kind of resembles from the depths deep below the earthquake swarm in Yellowstone today. All right, let's move on. Let's see. We need to move on to this little bit of information and news today. Yeah. Did you miss this one, Dutchie? I thought it was an earthquake. Residents talk about an eruption in Florida. Gas line exploding. Yeah. You didn't put that on your earthquake forecast fantasy 3D earthquake crystal ball yet, so I thought we'd add that into the mix today, because you never know what kind of things that are lurking deep below that are occurring on our planet as our Earth continues to change. Yeah, let me say,
Meantime,
climate change.
Were forced to leave their homes in the middle of the night. Our team coverage continues now with Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie this morning, who's joining us live at Seminole County as well. Amanda, those residents now are going back into their homes, but as you said earlier, a lot of them are already back in their homes.
That's right. As soon as they were given the all clear, a little before 3 o'clock, people were quick to go back to their homes. They were woken up in the middle of the night, not just by anything, but by a very loud boom. So we're right now on a different residential street, Missouri Avenue, which is just bordering a remote wooded area, which is where this gas leak rupture occurred. So we are close to where it happened, but we're more on the residential side. And a lot of these residents, when they heard that boom, they went outside their front doors just to see what was going on, and they could see over the treetops a large light and smoke billowing into the air. Many of them were notified via a reverse 911 call telling them to evacuate the area. One neighbor we spoke to says his house was shaking. Another says it sounded like a plane crashing or an earthquake. Here's what they had to say.
Sound was just incredible. It was so loud. There's no words to describe it. It was like an earthquake sound. And so I had a feeling because of the sound that it was some kind of something was propelling it, like gas, and that was my concern. Is this a gas leak? So of course I ran to my next door app, like everybody does, and we were all very active at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to help each other out.
Now, fortunately, even though there was a very loud, bright noise happening in the middle of the night, there were no injuries and no damage reported to any homes. Some folks, I'm hoping, are back in their beds now getting the rest of their night's sleep, and we'll find out, sure enough, just what happened here in the middle of the night. Reporting live in Sanford, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
All righty, so let's just say, okay, now, I got a lot of, move on to this show to finish up, to kind of like add into the mix. I wanted to know, this news also caught my attention today, that maybe now that we can, address things that occur, bump in the night, booms, loud booms and shit like that. But then, of course, this one, well, give me a second here. Oh, well. We want zombie fires. Zombie fires. What are zombie fires? Well, let me just say, deep underground, there are underground fires sparking record-setting wildfires in the Arctic Circle. Yeah, sure is. That's what I'm hearing. Let me bring you up to this speed on the news today. I don't think Doomsday Dumbass Dutchies even figured in this propelling earthquake information. It is earthquake forecast. Yeah, zombie fires. Who'd have thunk it, Dutchie? Increasing temperatures due to climate change and wildfires in California. They're saying it's causing it. Well, look at this article from the Smithsonian Magazine. Wildfires are scorching the Arctic Circle and already spewed a third more planet-warming carbon dioxide into the atmosphere than the region emitted in the entirety of 2019. So, we have all this global warming bullshit going on. Agenda 21, the United Nations, going to ram frickin' global taxes up our asses. And between now and that, now we got, instead of dumbass Dutchy and naming fucking underground volcanoes at the North Pole, now we just proved how the dumbass is. He don't even know about the underground fires. Much of that burning occurring in, that now we see the heat waves that are started. So, because, the Arctic soil is flammable, they say. That's what I'm hearing right here reading it. So when winter comes along, it don't matter. They got freaking underground methane gas. And sometimes people like drilling that for energy, like directed energy weapons come from there, Dutchy. Do you know that? Do you know that directed energy weapons come from methane gas? And now we got directed energy underground zombie fires. Once again, proving what a dumbass you are as it ignites the vegetation up above. Yeah. Oh, man. I wonder if they got some kind of videos on that for dumbass Dutchy over here, so we can, entertain him, because he's so stupid. We got to teach him a little few things every day. He's, he has to, copy even my headlines. You ever watch that shit? He even rips off my headlines and uses the same dumb shit. But, hey, okay. We got zombie fires creating CO2 emissions throughout the Arctic. And they're calling it global warming and blaming us humans for igniting the planet inside, outside, up and down, round. Heat waves. Here we go. It all goes right back to the mysterious Mayan fifth element. What am I telling you about? Yeah, there's 5 elements of nature. Can you name them yet? Or are you still a dumbass? Like dumbass Doomsday Disinfo Dutchy? Yeah. Pay fucking ad block. Okay. Let's see if we can get around the ad block here for you. So dumbass Doomsday Dutchy can rip off this zombie fires underground and he can make a fucking video on it down the road, right? Oh, man. Maybe this one will prop it up for us. Yeah, maybe this gives mono boom. Oh, maybe I'll need to do it to YouTube. Okay, this slow ass shit is not gonna work, is it? Connection failed. Let's see what they got. Let's see what these global warming Agenda 21 psycho nuts got, in store. For September 9th. Man, my computer is locked up again. Fudge me. Fudge. Talk about slow. And well, all right. Let's see. Where can we go on to the next story too I got here? No, I don't want that story. I thought, well, you never know. We were just talking about zombie fires, and I got distracted because my computer slowed down because it's so old. I don't make enough money to buy a new one. But hey, while we got interrupted, let's finish up with this alarming news that, as California fire season continues to rage, fueled by record-setting heat and high winds, and dumbass Doomsday Dutchie with his computer, bandwidth picture glitches. Yeah, they calls directed energy weapons, but include the fact now he don't have no clue about the underground zombie fires that are causing global warming. Maybe them underground zombie fires are triggering, earthquake swarms in Yellowstone National Park today too. As always, I am Never Know, Patriot Broadcasting and Liberty Tree Radio field reporter number 8510. And as always, I always like to close out today's latest show with God bless the Republic. Death to the New World Order. We are on the march. The Empire is on the run. We shall prevail. Just one last thing before I close it out. I just wanted to say, the Mayan elders all, prophesied and predicted, a big super volcano would explode, in the fifth cycle of the sun here after the, during this transition cycle. Did you know that yet? Mayan elders let us know ahead of time. They knew all about the big super volcano getting ready to explode there. Yeah, they did. But who am I pointing this out to dumbass Dutchie? Ah!